As you can likely tell from the title of this video, this is going to be a fairly controversial topic. So let me know what you think of Canadian real estate investors in the comments below. A few days ago, the Financial Post published an article titled "Stop Bashing Housing Investors. Canada Desperately Needs Them." Let's dig into this article to learn why the Financial Post believes housing investors are needed. But before we get into that, my name is Macallum, and if you want to be learning about the Toronto and Canadian real estate markets, then you are in the right place. I run a real estate team here in the city of Toronto, and we specialize in residential resale. And we're on the ground level every single day helping our clients buy and sell real estate. If you could do a huge favor for me and click both the like and subscribe buttons, I would greatly appreciate it. The more likes this video receives, the more the YouTube algorithm will push it to other people like yourself looking to learn more about Canadian real estate. And my goal is to hit 500 subscribers by the end of 2023, and we are well on our way. So share this video with someone if you think they'd be interested in it. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one call with me to chat about buying, selling, or just about the real estate market, you can go to the first link in the description of this video and book a meeting right into my calendar at a time that works best for you. The Financial Post starts the article off by saying, if not the investors, who will pay to maintain and own housing for millions of Canadians? And honestly, that's a pretty valid question. If we're going to have a real estate market of a landlord and tenant relationship, I'd much rather my landlord be a mom and pop shop or even a larger investor rather than the government. So for me, we can rule that option out. The article goes on to state Canada's population grew by 1 million people last year, an increase in magnitude and pace that is unprecedented, and one that will place more demand for essential services such as housing, transport, and health, as well as leisure. Essentially, we have a growing population which is worsening housing affordability by the day. And just to make things super clear, I am not saying, nor do I believe the Financial Post is saying, that immigration and an increase in population is the only reason for a lack of affordability. Why does the Financial Post believe housing investors are critical for the health and growth of housing stock? Well, it's because large-scale housing developments may not be possible without them, because they provide the risk capital for the prolonged period when housing is being built. So high-density condos and subdivisions are not built without capital investment. Capital investment is needed to get these projects off the ground, or on the ground rather. And that capital investment comes from the pockets of soon-to-be landlords or investors. The Financial Post also looks at risk and time as reasons investors are required in the housing market. A typical condominium takes years to build and plan. In Ontario, reports suggest it may take 500 days or more to secure planning approvals for high-density residential development. Construction may take another 2 to 5 years. Thus, a potential buyer may have to wait 5 years or more to even set foot in a completed dwelling after making their initial deposit. In addition to time, new housing construction is a capital-intensive process requiring hundreds of millions of dollars in investments. Although deposits are mostly protected, there is still inherently risk when purchasing real estate, especially when the property does not yet exist. Taking investors out of the construction equation will further slow the already sluggish rate of new housing supply, eventually hurting the same people the investor-bashing housing advocates say they want to help. The Financial Post goes on to say, which I don't totally agree with, some housing advocates object to investors owning multiple dwellings in Canada. They argue that investors restrict home ownership opportunities for first-time buyers by owning multiple dwellings. This argument would hold more merit if there were no rental households in Canada. And, stated differently, millions live in housing provided and maintained by investors. Those arguing to diminish investors' role should first answer the following question. If not the investor, who will pay to maintain and own housing for millions of Canadians? I don't think this is really the right approach to be taking because studies show over 60% of Canadians want to purchase real estate. Just because there are rental households in Canada doesn't mean people don't want to buy real estate as an end user. I believe investors are required in the housing market due to the economics of development, not because tenants want to rent. But what if investors were only allowed to own, say, 2 non-primary residences? At the end of the day, as it stands right now, investors help bring inventory to the market.